Hi there, I'm Sifu Steve here at Classical Martial Arts of Long Island. And I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about diet. Oh, that's a big topic. It's a can of worms. I don't know if I want to open it because everywhere you go, there's lots of information about diet out there and lots of different types of fad diets that come and go quickly. But I wanted to kind of talk to you about the idea of how diet works into traditional ideas, classical ideas about the martial arts and about health. Because part of the martial arts is being healthy. Part of it is self-cultivation, making yourself into a better person. And that could be moral, but also cultivation, like you cultivate a field, has to cultivate some aspect of nutrition. So if we wanted to grow food, we'd go out in the field and we'd grow that food and we'd have something nutritious. Well, it's interesting because in Chinese martial arts, we use similar terms. There's something that we call the Dan Tian. And Dan, it's a hard word to translate in one single English word, but it means the elixir of health or the epitome of health. And Tian, in the word Dan Tian, means field, the field of the elixir of health. And we say, oh, it's inside you. Well, you can't do anatomy. You can't cut somebody up and find this thing because it's more of a concept. It's a metaphorical concept for how you can be healthy and how we can cultivate what the Chinese call qi, the force of metabolism, the force behind your body. And that force certainly can be expressed in martial arts in ways to hit and to kick and to throw and such. But really we're talking about qi as in health. So we see that in practices we call qigong. We see that often in all the Chinese martial arts, but it's very famous for being associated with Tai Chi. Well, back to diet. And in diet, well, we define this thing called qi. We define it a little differently in diet than we do in the rest of the martial arts. We define qi in diet as change over time. Well, what do I mean by that? If you had a potato chip today, and just one, it has only a small impact on you. Though potato chips are tasty, but they're salty, and they have carbohydrate in them. If you eat a lot of them, well, a lot of salt can raise your blood pressure. A lot of carbohydrate that you don't need maybe could make more of you, get you a little heavier. But one potato chip didn't do that. One potato chip was just a little drop in the bucket. But if you do it regularly, it leads to change over time. And that's why in Chinese martial arts and in Chinese medicine, they say that the qi, the force of diet, is change over time. Well, that works in two ways. One, it works with the potato chip that's making more of me, and at the same time making more of my blood pressure. But it works also if I change the diet in a positive way. So positive changes take time, and you have to stay on them. For that change over time dynamic will play out with diet. So one thing to be aware of is no matter how good or how bad your diet is, if it doesn't have a longevity, if it doesn't have an ongoing nature, it's never going to work. So therefore, we look at some other principles. Classic Chinese principle called 坐身三日, which means the beginning heart lasts but 3 days. Well, we've all had that. Start something new, right? Because a new year's coming. New year, new you, new diet, new everything. Yeah, 3 days later, yeah, I'm back to that bag of potato chips, right? And I'm back where I was before. So making change means incremental change slowly. Well, that's something you heard from your grandmother or your mother, right? And that's very true. That's old wisdom, making change slowly. That's one thing. Sometimes it's hard to make change slowly. But the other thing about diet is from the Chinese medical perspective and the Chinese martial arts perspective is that good diet embraces 5 fundamental flavors. That there are 5 core flavors that should be in every diet to keep you healthy because the belief is that rounds out the strongest nutritional force to your organs and to your bones, your ligaments, your tendons, your skin, your muscles, to all of it. So first you should have things that are naturally sour. Natural sour foods have certain benefits to them. Sour and fermented foods, very strong. Second, things that are naturally bitter. Natural bitter foods, and oftentimes bitter foods are naturally antimicrobial, but those should be represented in your diet. And that can be whether we're talking about things that are fruits or vegetables or animal products. Well, they should be things that fit these models of the different aspects of diet. Third is things that are naturally sweet. You say, well, wait a minute, I'm supposed to avoid sweets. Well, I said naturally sweet. So if you don't eat a lot of refined sugar, rice is naturally sweet. If you don't eat a lot of refined sugar, well, then an apple is naturally sweet. So when we talk about sweet from the traditional classical perspective, we're talking about things that are naturally sweet, not the refined sugar. Now, come on, let's be honest. You never met a carbohydrate you didn't like. We're all like that. You always have a little bit of extra sugar at the holidays or once in a while. But again, remember, like we said earlier, one little thing, one little drop in the bucket does not make the massive change. So one cookie or 2 or 3 at the holidays, you're fine. But if one cookie, you have that after every meal. The moment you start having dessert after lunch, maybe that's a little bit too much sweets, right? So that moderation idea. But naturally sweet food should be in your diet. Also, the next category, naturally spicy, or what we often call pungent foods. Foods that aerate, that have an aromatic quality. Those things are considered to benefit your immune system and your lung. They should be in your diet. And then finally, naturally salty foods. Not adding a lot of extra salt, but things that are naturally salty. So those 5 flavors, sour, bitter, sweet, spicy, also called pungent, and salty, should be in your diet on a regular basis. Now, overindulgence in any one of them is not considered healthy. Lacking any one of them is not considered healthy. And then, after we look at having a balanced diet that has the right amount of carbohydrates, the right amount of proteins, the right amount of fats, and not over-consuming calories, yet not under-consuming calories, we also try to look at that balance of the 5 flavors. And then, here's a little secret, because that was a fair amount of information, but a little secret is that in Chinese, they say, oh, you shouldn't eat to being extra full. So what does that mean? That means when we eat, you don't want to eat to satiation. You want to eat to satiety. You want to eat enough. You want to feel satisfied. But if you eat so much that you feel like you're walking around from your belly first, your belly's entering the room before you do. You're walking around with a big bowl in the middle, a big bolus of food sitting right there in your stomach. You ate too much. So the simple way to find out how much is too much, after you eat your meal, contract your abdominal muscles. If you can eat, and then tighten your stomach muscles after you ate, not hard, not long, but contract them, then you've eaten enough. If you go and you go to do that and you go, oh, I feel like a beached whale. Not okay. Not okay. That means that you overate, because traditional Chinese wisdom says that the center, where the stomach is, must retain a little emptiness, retain a little clarity. They call it clarity. That's a very specific translation, but it has emptiness, enough space for the digestive process to operate correctly, enough space for your stomach to macerate and move, for your intestines to escort things through. And if you overindulge, then it's almost like having too many things in the closet or too many riders on the subway. Nobody gets happy, everybody's crowded, and nothing's very efficient. So those are simple little tools that you could add into your daily regimen, right? Eat enough, be aware of it, eat on a good schedule. We say that the digestion loves regularity, right? Don't eat too late, don't overeat, be able to tighten your abdomen a little bit after you eat, and look for the balance in the carbohydrates, in the proteins, in the fats, in the overall calorie count, as well as enough water, right? As well as the balance of the 5 traditional flavors. All right, well, hopefully that's interesting. If you like that kind of stuff, come on down, because we talk about that in our internal martial arts class, which is where we focus on how we stay healthy on the interior. Okay, so hope to see you on the mat. Come on down. We give everyone a free trial to see if they like it. All right, and have a great day. Thank you so much.